Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Today, we're going to be looking at the best practices for hosting a webinar. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes just to give folks a chance to join the webinar. So if you've already signed in, great. If you don't mind just hanging on a few seconds while the folks all join. Just some housekeeping while we're waiting. There is a chat window open on the right-hand side. See a message coming through in that chat session. Please let me know if you do, and you can most certainly ask your questions and communicate through the chat. Okay, so we're just going to wait a few minutes just to see or give folks a chance to connect. Okay, so I think we can get started now. Right, a couple of slides, and these will be made available after the session, so you don't have to take notes. Let me switch over then to the slide presentation, and I'll talk you through the content that we'll be covering this afternoon. Okay, so firstly, we'll be looking at the computer, your camera, your audio, the browser, Google Hangouts as the back end, and we'll go through a couple of quick tips. So firstly, looking at your computer. If your computer's, you purchased it within the last 2 years, I'm sure that you've got enough juice to get you through any live streaming. But if it's a slightly older machine, you might want to just check on the processor. Ideally, you need a 2 gigahertz dual core processor. You should have at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. Obviously, if you can upgrade that to 8, even better. And from your network connectivity point of view, ideally you want to be using a fixed network cable and not relying on your Wi-Fi when you're doing the live feed. The bandwidth, you should have at least a 2 meg stream, but for most folks, that's pretty normal nowadays. Okay, I'm using the Logitech C920 widescreen lens. It works with both PC and Mac and gives you full HD. And the great thing about this camera is that it allows automatic switching based on your bandwidth. So your resolution will drop to accommodate a dip in a bandwidth. It's got an autofocus lens, automatic low light correction, and retails for around $80. From the audio side, a good headset with a boom mic is preferable. You ideally don't want to have something that's got a whole lot of cables hanging around and wires hanging over your front of your shirt. So I'm using the Logitech H800 headset. Also retails for around $80. You should be able to pick it up online from any of the big retailers. So if you don't have a good headset, I can highly recommend that one. From a browser perspective, because we're using the Google Hangouts, you should use the Chrome browser. If you don't have that installed, there is a link to the installation, or you can just visit google.com/Chrome and you'll find the download links. And when we're using this browser, you want to make sure that all your other browsers are closed. Google Hangouts, this is, as I mentioned, the back end, and it's effectively a messaging and video chat platform developed by Google. There is a link there where you can read a little bit more about it. And there are 2 versions of Hangouts. There's Hangouts on Air and the normal Hangouts. The difference being that the one on Air allows you to record the session and obviously play that back. There's a video link that I've included in the Getting Started, which will orientate you in terms of the commands and some of the features that you can use within the Google interface. So please do explore those and get familiar with those so that you are fully up to speed with that functionality. Right, let's have a look at some of the quick tips. The first one is, as I mentioned earlier, you'd rather want to go for cable over Wi-Fi. So please, if you can easily run a cable to your router or your modem, please do that. It will just give you a more stable connection. Next, ideally you want to restart your computer before the session so that you've cleaned out your RAM and you've got maximum resources available to you. Once you have opened and restarted your computer, ideally please close all applications that you will not be using during the live stream, as this obviously frees up your processing power and your memory. If you have a second monitor, that's great because you can use the one monitor for reviewing and connecting through the chat session between the other moderators, and the other one you can see what is being displayed to the attendees on the call. If you don't have two graphics cards in your PC, not to worry. There's a fancy little USB graphics adapter that you can plug into a USB port that will give you the functionality of an extended second monitor. Please show up early, at least 15 minutes before the call, so we can just make sure that we've got all the functionality working the way we expect it to work, and that we can start promptly at the start of the call. If you're not talking, one of the other moderators is talking, please mute your microphone so that no background noise or keyboard strokes are coming through to everyone on the call. And if you're not, if there's several of us on the call and we're not talking that often, then please identify yourself before you start talking so that the guys on the call know who's chatting. Camera angle, you want to make sure that your camera is not low down on your desk, pointing up your nose. So rather have it either at eye level or at the top of your monitor. And any clutter around your desk or behind you, please remove that so that it gives a nice backdrop to the video feed. Okay, most importantly, guys, let's have fun. Let's do this. We've got some exciting modules to present and exciting content to share with people. So most of all, let's have a great time doing it. Okay, so that's a wrap from my side. Thanks for joining this this webinar, and thanks for participating. It's been really great having you on board, and like I said, there will be a rebroadcast of this presentation, so you'll be able to find that online as well. Great. Thanks for your time. Chat to you again soon.